Okay, so it's a pleasure to have you guys. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about working with input. This is the user input. So in this lesson, we're going to emphasize on two main points. The first point is the type of data that we get from the input function. And then second, can we use multiple input functions? All right, so let's jump into our lesson. So the first thing we want to talk about is what type of data do we get from the input function? So from the input function, we always get strings. Okay, let's prove it. So let's say I have a math score, and I want the user to enter their math score. So we use the input function, and then inside here we have to prompt the user to enter the correct data. So we say enter your math score, like this. And then obviously after they enter their math score, we want to print that math score. Okay, so save this. The way we're going to do it is we're going to run this in our command line. You can use the CMD if you're on Windows, or terminal if you're on Mac or Linux, but I'm going to use the git bash terminal. I just like it, so that's what I'm going to use here, so don't be confused. All right, so we're trying to run this file. So the way we run it, we have to locate the file, the directory where this file is, and then we run it. So cd is change directory. I want to go to my desktop and locate it, and then from the desktop I want to go to space invader. Okay, so the way it works is if your folder or your directory has got space on it, you have to use quotation marks. So that's why I'm using quotation marks on space invader. Right now I'm in the folder. Now I can write Python and then experiment, which is the name of this file that we're trying to run, .py extension. All right, press enter. As you guys can see, it prompts me this prompt here: enter your math score. So the same way it shows up here, it says enter your math score. So I'm going to enter 90, and the moment I press enter, it's going to print the math score. So if I press enter down here, as you guys would see, it prints the 90 and then it terminates the program, because this is the last instruction that I have in my program. Okay, so now we said we get strings, right? So how do we know this is a string? 90 is a number. We all know 90 is a number. So why is it a string? So the way a string is represented in Python is, let's say I have another score here. If that score was a string, it will be in quotes like this. This is a string, okay? This is not a number. You will see the difference. If I write a number directly without quotation marks, you will see that it's in purple, right? But if I put in quotation marks, it changes color. This shows that this is a different data type. So the way we can actually check, we can use the type function to check this math score and see what type of data it is. Now back to our terminal, we can now run it one more time. Let me clear this first. We use the clear command to clear the screen in the terminal, and then of course you use the up arrow to locate the previous command that you used. So I can press enter 90 and press enter. As you guys would see, here we said we would want to print the type of score. So here it says class string, class str. Str is short for string. So math is a string. So let's say I want to do something with this score. Once I get it from the user, I want to add another let's say I want to give him 5 more marks. So if I'm to write math score plus 5, this is not going to work, because I cannot add a string and an integer. Let's check it out. Let's try it out. We can try it out and prove it. So right now I want to clear first and then run this. Enter. I got a 90 in my math, and then enter. Now I run into an error. It says type error, can only concatenate a string, not int to a string. So Python is assuming that I want to concatenate a string to another string. Yeah, I can do it. I can convert this 5 into a string like this. now it can work, but it's not going to give me a 95. I want to do math, okay? I don't want to join things. So right now, if I clear this and try and run this program one more time, press enter and press 90, enter, it gives me 905, 90 and then 5, because it's joining two strings. 90 is a string and then 5 is a string, so it's joining both of them, and then it gives me 905. This is not what I want, okay? So I want to be able to add these two and get a 95. So what should I do? Okay, so there are a couple of ways that you can do. The first way you can do is actually to typecast this, to convert this into an integer. You use the int function. We have an int function in Python. So right now, the math score has been converted from a string to an integer. So I can save this and run this one more time. You check it out. Let me clear the screen first and then run this. I got a 90. Enter, as you guys would see, this is a 95. Boom, it's working. Perfect. All right, the second way I can do it, I converted this variable. I can also do it here, like int before, like convert the input, so I can do it up here and then another, parentheses, because an int is a function, so you have to remember to use parentheses. So now this is the same thing like I did, in the previous example. I just did it here, down here, but I can do it up here. It's going to work, okay? It's going to work. So this is how you do it. We use typecasting. We use the int function, and boom, we have it, just like that. All right, cool. Let's say I wanted to join these two. I like I showed you guys, I could just put in quotation marks, or I could write this as a string, like str. This is also another function. It converts, anything that you like, anything that you have into a string. So this 5 is now a string, as you guys would see. If I try and run this in the terminal, I prefer to clear first and then run this 90, and then boom, it gives me 905. Because this has been converted to a string, and then it's joining the two strings together. This is what you get. So let me do away with the str function and put a 5 here, return it back to where it was. So this is how you work with the input function. You have to typecast convert it, right? So we always get a string, but we can convert that string into an integer or a float or a string, whichever way you want. All right, so here the 2 is a string, and then the y is also a string, and then the typecast here 2 plus 4 is going to give us a 6, not the other way around. Okay, so run this, you see this is correct. All right, let's move on to the next part. The next part is talking about using multiple input functions. So let's say we want to take multiple user inputs. So can we actually use multiple user functions? Yes, we can. So let's check it out. The way we do it so let's say this is the math score, and down here I want to say science score. You can name whatever you want, but that's what I want to name it. So I want to use the input function, and then I can say enter your science score, right? Enter your science score. You can do it. So down here I want to add the math and the science score. So the way I can do it is I can convert this into int, the math into int, and then the science into int, and then science score, just like this. Okay, so now I can add these two to check out, perhaps, later on I want to calculate the average, so I can actually do this, save this and run this. Let's check it out. I'm going to run this clear first and then run it. Enter your math score, I got a 90 in math. Enter your science score, I got a 98. Enter, I got a 188 in total. So, I can actually add, and I can use this 188 to check out the average and stuff like that. So you can do that, so this is how it works. So let's check out these answers over here. So if I continue, I'm fill in the blanks to produce a valid code which takes the values of the x and y variables from the input and outputs. Their sum. So int, what do we have here? Input, right? Input, obviously. And then here we have to convert this into an int, and then here x plus y. Check it out. Boom, that's the correct answer. All right, so I want to thank you for your time. In our next video, we're going to look at in-place operators. All right, so for now, I'm done. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. For now, I'm out. Bye-bye.